Mostly everyone is assuming the Patriots are locked into taking a quarterback at number 3, but could they swing a deal for a top flight receiver? Stick around. You're about to be locked into the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, and also, hopefully, your first listen each and every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, so smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to download and follow wherever you get your podcasts to ensure that you get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. While you're out there showing social media love to Locked On Patriots, please be sure to follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And Pats fans, been a minute since we've brought you some of your great mock drafts. But our good friend is back in the studio, and we're thrilled to have him. He is the legend himself, the Count of Murphy Fisto, Thomas Murphy. Thank you for coming to me in friendship.
My apologies, guys. My apologies. Thank you for putting up with my tardiness. Yes, today I feel tardy.
You do not need to feel tardy in this circumstance, my friend. You know what? We are glad to have you. We need the wisdom. We need the counsel. We need that little bit of grit that you bring to these mock drafts. And folks, I know it's been a little bit since we've brought you your great mock drafts here on Locked On Patriots, but fear not. We're doing it today. And you know what, Murph? I got a funny feeling it's going to be so nice that we're going to want to do it twice. So stick around, folks. Stay locked in because you're not going to want to miss a single second of the action on today's episode. And Murph, let's dive right into it. Let's get right into the mock draft haul that we have here. Over the week, we've got some great mock drafts submitted by all of you everydayers out there and a few of you first-timers, which we're glad to share today as well. But I figured, Murph, we'll start with an all-star. Our good friend Jason Sullivan. Here is Jason's draft haul. And folks, as you can see on the screen, he did complete a trade for the benefit of those of you listening to this podcast on the audio version. Yeah, he has the Patriots landing a top flight receiver, maybe the top receiver available out there. Jason's trade package is as follows. The Cincinnati Bengals receive the Patriots first rounder at number 3. And they also receive a 5th rounder in 2025. And the Patriots have a pretty good haul coming back here. Obviously, the centerpiece of the deal, wide receiver Tee Higgins. He becomes the Patriots' automatic number 1 in this situation. But he's got the Patriots getting a few pieces in return as well. The number 18 overall pick in this season's draft. He's got the Patriots recouping a 3rd rounder, number 80 in this draft. A 1st rounder in 2025. And a 5th rounder in 2025 as well. So, Murph, before we get into the heart of this draft, when you look at this trade, do you think this is a little over-aggressive on Jason's part, or do you think this is a pretty good haul that the Patriots could not refuse?
No, this is the haul that you can't refuse. You get Tee Higgins and a cornerstone left tackle. All right, he's not Joe Alt. You know, he's probably the 3rd best tackle in this draft. But I'll take that. At 18 plus another for actually, you know, I'm sitting here wondering how Sully pulled this off with how much he got back. Well. All right. That's what I'm thinking here. Because I could definitely see the Bengals doing the swap and Higgins if we threw in something else. And but no, this is just brilliant. And then the way he worked the board down here, you know, grabbing Fashanu, grabbing Penix. Cameron Kitchens. Thank you. Thank you, Sully. Thank you for recognizing one of the biggest needs on the defensive side of the ball and addressing it within the top 100 picks.
Absolutely.
Okay. You know, he grabbed Cam Hart. That's another fantastic move, but no, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, I love the trade. I love the trade. If this happened, I'd be all over it. I'm not sure how thrilled Bengals fans would be about it, but the Bengals get Junior. Okay. The Bengals trade up and get Junior. So I can definitely see this kind of scenario happening, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think at that point, the Bengals right now would be swapping essentially Tee Higgins for Marvin
Yeah,
Harrison Jr. You have to think that's exactly where they'd be going in this. So probably a better haul for the Bengals than originally thought. When you look at the face of this trade, Murph, I'm glad you mentioned some of the rest of Sully's haul here because I don't think you get the full appreciation for how
right,
good this deal is for the Patriots until you take a look at how he filled the other positions of need for New England. You get a top flight receiver, someone who is proven and
right.
someone who can definitely be an asset to a young quarterback. In this situation, Oli Fashanu comes in as your cornerstone tackle. Once again, Murph said he is not Joe Alt, but I think a solid
Yep.
option here. Fashanu is falling a little bit on draft boards. I've
Yeah.
talked to several draft analysts. A lot of people are having difficulty figuring out why. I know there have been performance issues in pro days and whatnot, but when you look at the game film, which, in my opinion, Murph, and we've talked about this
Right.
several times, is the superior way to grade what these guys can do in the NFL. You have to be careful falling in love with either highlights or pro day or NFL combine type workouts, NFL combine performances, because those are designed to make you look better. If you
Right.
want to see how these guys are going to look practically in the NFL, you got to look at the game film. And Fashanu, I think, stands out and someone that I believe can be a cornerstone tackle for this team for a number of years. Michael Penix Jr. coming in, for the Patriots here at number
Yep.
34. This is a great move. Obviously, if you're getting your top flight wide receiver, that's the quarterback, folks.
Yeah.
And believe me when I tell you, I think if Michael Penix Jr. is still there at number 34, I don't think teams are doing their
Yeah.
homework. This guy
Yeah.
is right there.
He
He
won't.
deserves,
He
yeah.
won't. We all know the way quarterbacks climb.
Hmm.
Okay, that's why guys who play in the SEC are sitting there at number 3 instead of number 13, and because everybody reaches for a quarterback, and they're going to reach at the bottom of the first round, just the way some teams are that are quarterback desperate reach at the top. No, this is a beautiful draft, man. This is an A+ draft.
And not bad for the rest of the haul. For those of you
Right.
watching here on YouTube, we'll bring it back up again. But for those of you listening, at number 80 in the third round, the Patriots tight end, Cade Stover.
Yep.
I think this is a good pick as well. This kid is a good blocker, a project, but someone that I think can come in and be a tight end that can contribute right away and even be a potential option. This is a
Right.
kid that you can keep under your control for a little while. Going down the list a little bit over here, cornerback, obviously, you can always use help. I know this is a position of strength for the
Yep.
Patriots right now, but you can never have too much firepower. In the fourth round at number 103, they pick up Cam Hart. I think a good pickup here. I like Will Shipley out of Clemson. I've heard the
Yeah.
comparisons before about him being a poor man's Christian McCaffrey.
Is a skilled receiver that he's going to catch
Yeah.
balls out of the backfield. He's that third down guy going forward, and where where we're getting him here, I hate when I do that, but at 137, he can sit back and do what's always been done here, and I think we will see it going forward. Get that red shirt year. He'll get some touches, but it's not like he's at 137. People don't
Mm,
expect somebody to come in at 137 and completely take over the running back
mm.
room.
Yeah, definitely a skilled receiver, as Murph said. Great comparison there. Of course, if you can pick up a guy like Will Shipley or maybe even a Dylan Laube,
Dylan Laube.
I think it's worth it. Even though the Patriots did get Antonio Gibson, and I love Antonio, I think he's going to be a great fit here. You can always use some help
Right.
there in that backfield. And to round it all out, Javion Cohen coming in to help a little bit of
Yep.
coming in to help the interior of that offensive line a little bit. Good solid
Depth.
pick here, I think, at number
Yep.
180. And then the Patriots going pass rush, and they're going front seven on their
Yeah.
defensive side of the board with Jaylen Ford at number 193. And then, of course, rounding it all out at number 231 in the seventh round, J.J. Weaver, the edge
The
rusher
Dream
out of
Weaver,
Kentucky.
right there. The Dream Weaver. Um, Now I gave this draft an A+. I'm not sure what Michael's going to want to give it on it, because you look up and down the haul that was gotten for number 3 is fantastic. Everybody in this draft will be on the roster week 1.
Mm,
There's you'd have a hard time getting anybody that Sully has picked here onto the practice squad because they're going to get scooped up by somebody else. It's a fantastic. This is just a great draft. It's one of the best drafts we've seen all year.
Yeah, this one gets an A+ from me as well because of the detail that Sully paid to the talent here. You can tell he scouted each of these individual players and selected them based on the Patriots' need. And you did fill all the needs. You've got your number one receiver. You've got a top flight quarterback. In my opinion, Penix can be that in this league. I don't necessarily know if he'll be there at number 34, but to me, that's not worth taking away the plus here for this draft. This was impeccably scouted. And I really do believe that he did a great job here. And again, my favorite picks over here, Fasciano getting at 18. I think that is a steal. I love Kinchins coming in here at number 68. And, I like picks like Stover and Shipley and guys that are going to come in and fill roles and help to deepen the depth charts on this team. You can't argue with the logic that he showed here. So a major tip of the cap here, Saul. Thanks so much for all of your contributions here to Locked On Patriots. And Murph, the best part of all of this, we're just getting started because we've got a first timer that submitted by email over the weekend. He's been waiting a while to get this one in, and he's got the Patriots getting a pretty good haul in return for not the number 3 pick. Folks,
Right.
We're going to tell you what Arizona was willing to give up to move up to 34. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. I really like this, and I think you will as well. Folks, continue to stick around because we are coming back right here on the Locked On Podcast Network in just a moment. Your team every day. Locked On listeners, we've all been there. You want tickets to watch your favorite team play at Fenway, but you're not quite sure how to get the best seats at the best prices. Well, Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price guaranteed, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And it's not just Major League Baseball, folks. With their priority last-minute deals, Game Time can help you save up to 60% off by buying last minute for all kinds of sports, concerts, comedy, and theater, all coming to your area. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNFL. That's LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots. And of course, if we're going through your great mock drafts, who else would join me here today but the man that mock draft Monday, mock draft weekends? Yeah, I'm going the full gamut. The man that mock drafts were created for, my good friend, the Count of Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy, joining me here today. Murph, we already have graded one of our Mount Rushmore All-Stars here on Locked On Patriots for a pretty good draft haul, utilizing the trade wire impeccably, in my opinion, and in yours. We both gave him an A+ to start the show today. So we're firing on all cylinders. But we love it when first-timers submit drafts here to Locked On Patriots. And we have a first-timer submitting them here today. Our good friend Jeremy Puffenbarger, who is an everydayer here on Locked On Patriots, sent this one in by email. When I looked at what Jeremy did here to start off this draft, I can picture an old Seinfeld episode where Jerry Seinfeld is sitting there puffing on a cigar and Elaine is just plopping down $20 bills because he's winning the bet. Folks, it's a family show. We're not going to say why Elaine was forking over that money and giving it to Jerry. But if you've seen the episode, you know it. But if you've seen the gift file, and you know what, we may attach that to the promo tweet for this episode just to let people see what we're seeing. That's all I could think of when I see what Jeremy was able to get for the Patriots in exchange for the number 34 pick. That's right, folks. He didn't have to budge at number 3. Let's take a look at the trade first, Murph. And once again, for those of our great everydayers that are listening to the podcast, he has the Patriots shipping their second rounder in number 34 over to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, in return, he has the Patriots getting the number 35 pick. So you're kind of just moving down one. Not bad. He also has the Patriots picking up 2 third rounders this
Right.
year, pick number 66 and pick number 90. He also has the Patriots getting another 5th round pick this year at number 138. And rounding it all out, he's got another 6th rounder in number 2025. That is a pretty good return for
Holy
moving down
smoke.
only one. Yeah, I don't know if Jeremy had like incriminating photos on the
Right.
Cardinals. I don't know what was
I
going
don't
on
get it.
there. But whatever you did, my friend, a tip of the cap. You are a master negotiator. I will say that.
This was brilliant. This was brilliant. I don't know who proposed this to whom, but this is fantastic. To be able to keep the number 3 pick, still, drop down one spot. I've been floating out there, drop down one spot from 3 to 4 with
Mhm.
with the Cardinals, for months here, and see what you can get back, because the Cardinals have 3 second round draft picks this season. And if you could go and pick up 2 of those, and he went and grabbed what, just dropping down one. Look at what he brought back here.
Mhm.
This is amazing. This is fantastic. I would love this trade. I would
Yeah.
absolutely love this trade, because the Patriots still end up getting a guy of the ilk of Tyler Guyton, who I'm
Mhm.
not sure is going to be there at 35, but I would
Yeah.
gladly take him there.
Yeah, absolutely. If he is still there at 35, the Patriots have again not only fleeced the Arizona Cardinals, but they fleeced the entire NFL.
Right.
Tyler Guyton is a massive tackle. He projects as a solid starting option in this league for a number of years. Strong showing at the Senior Bowl. You look at what he brings to the table and the job that he did for Oklahoma. You gotta love this. And obviously, the Patriots right off the bat making that trade, getting their future franchise quarterback in Jayden Daniels. And yeah, folks, I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's a foregone conclusion that he goes to Washington. Until it happens, you can't say that for sure. He's coming in for a visit for the Patriots on Monday, shows that there is still interest there. And the Patriots want to make sure that if they do go with Jayden at number 3 in this draft, that he's going to be a good fit here. I believe he will be, and it's going to make the job a little bit easier, Murph, with Tyler Guyton protecting his blind
Yeah.
side. So not a bad job there, but Jeremy is not done yet. At number 66, Murphy double dips into the interior of the offensive line.
Yep.
I think you're going to like this one in Cooper
Love it.
Beebe at Kansas State. Good pick here. I really love this kid.
Yeah, this kid is fantastic. He's going to solidify the inside of this offensive line. It definitely I love big round guys. I love guys that pay attention to the important players, the real weapons in an offense, and it's those guys on the front line. And I love this pick. I love
Mm.
it.
Number 68, the Patriots' original third rounder
Yep.
that they had. They pick up Michael Hall Jr., defensive lineman out of Ohio State. Murph, this is, I think, an under the radar need for the
Yeah.
Patriots. Not a lot of people are talking about the D line depth, but when you lose someone like a Lawrence Guy, you do lose a little bit of that pop in that defensive line. I know the Patriots are strong up front in the front 7, and I think they're still going to be strong when it comes to the starting front 7, but you can never have too much depth at this position. I like the Patriots addressing this here, and I like the pick of Michael Hall out of Ohio State here.
Yeah, I do. I think it's fantastic. It is a position of need. The line is aging and aging. They're moving away. They want younger, more explosive guys. Hall is that guy.
Absolutely, and a very, very good point there as well. Moving right along, Murph, you can subscribe to my theory, and you can say that the Patriots will be reading from the book of Malachi
Malachi.
yeah, exactly,
Malachi.
this
We want you,
season.
Malachi.
Malachi Corley, I think, checks a lot of boxes for me. I've been very high on this kid from the start
Yep.
of the draft cycle. We talked about him several times here on these airwaves. I like the synergy that he has with Bailey Zappi. Whether Bailey is a viable option to start some games for you this year is still a matter of conjecture. Really, I think is going to be determined by what the Patriots do in the first round of the draft this season. But regardless of whether Bailey's here or not, I think Malachi could be a solid addition
Right.
to this
The Yak
wide receiver
God.
core.
The
Absolutely.
Yak God.
Yeah.
And we all know
Yeah.
how I dig Yak. I love this.
Murph loves it. One pick that I wanted to pick your brain on, Murph, because obviously Jeremy does address the safety position here, and
Yep.
he does it at safety with Utah's Cole Bishop. Now, I've been very vocal the last couple of days about Sione Vaki. and his ability to hit, his ability to be a solid presence in that defensive backfield, maybe even someone that can drop back and
Yep.
carry the ball a little bit. We've seen him do that in the past. But Sione is not a center fielder. He's not a pure center field safety. He's more of a hybrid, and he will require a little bit more coaching in that regard. Bishop is kind of the same type
Yeah.
of ilk. He's really kind of cut from the same type of cloth, more of an enforcer. He's got great size, great toughness. I think he can be a good down safety. I also think he can align well in the split safety. But if you're looking for that center fielder,
Right.
I'm not quite sure Cole Bishop is the guy that's going to emerge into that. And Jeremy was not done yet, Murphy.
Nope.
Still has a couple of picks left in the arsenal. Rounding out this draft at number 138, Jarvis Brownlee, the cornerback of Louisville.
Like
At number 180, he goes to the University of Houston. Patriots have had some good luck there the last couple of years. Marcus Jones, anyone? Nelson Caesar coming in, edge rusher from Houston at number 180. At number 193, one of my favorite names in this draft, Satoa Laumea comes in, interior offensive lineman for the Utah Utes. Yeah, Murph, that's right. The Patriots in Jeremy's draft drafted 2 Utes. So, we love it. We absolutely love it. Anytime I can throw a My Cousin Vinny reference in there, folks, I'm happy. And in number 231, Marcus Rosemy-Jackson. This is an interesting pick at number 231. I've seen a lot of hype around this guy, but he keeps lingering around this late day 3 type malaise. Do you think this is something that could increase his draft value over the course of the next couple of weeks leading into the draft? Or do you think this is a potential diamond in the rough here for any team that gets him at this point?
No, this is a diamond in the rough pick here. He just didn't see as much time on the field as he probably should have. And it's a good dice roll. You're at 231. And I think he'd end up on the practice squad. But I love the Jarvis Brownlee Jr. pick. I think it's a fantastic pick. He doesn't lack ideal size and top end playing speed, but he's fantastic in coverage. He has a lot of foot quickness. I like that out of my cornerback. Shocking, I know. But he has a good punch at the line of scrimmage and can play some both man press man and off. He's really good, really good at disrupting receivers off the line of scrimmage, and I like that. And at 138, I think it's a fantastic pick. It is another pick of need, another position of need, whether you like it or not here in New England.
Yeah, absolutely. And you pick up Brownlee.
Makes the squad. He makes the squad.
Agreed. And again, you pick up Brownlee at number 138. That's a pick that Jeremy acquired via trade, so using that smartly. And again, I keep coming back to Marcus in this regard, and I'll tell you why, because not only does he have a sure set of hands, Murph, but he's a very good blocker on the outside. He really did a great job for Georgia. Our good friend Andrew Caraway can tell you a little bit more about what this kid brings as a blocker. So if you pick him up at number 231 and he can fill that role, you're doing something right. So Murph, it's grading time. Our good friend Jeremy submitted a total haul, a really, really big trade haul, and then, turning that trade into several good picks here. What are your thoughts? What are you grading this trade?
This is another A draft. I mean, we're just getting killed here. I mean, it's so hard, people. You guys keep getting on Murph. What's with all the B's and A's? We don't get a lot of submissions from people that I would give a C grade to, or I would give a D grade to. You guys are just so smart and you hit it right on the button. And I mean, some of you guys that have sent in stuff, you've been kept out of the A category simply because you forgot a safety. And that's not happening. That's not happening today. You sit there, you take notes, you're coachable. You guys are coachable. And I love that.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. This is an A draft by Jeremy. I love the aggressiveness he showed in the trade. I love the draft haul. You're going to have to tell me how you pulled that one off, my friend. I'd love to hear it. But bottom line, what he's done with the rest of the picks here, you can't argue with taking 2 offensive linemen right off the bat that can help a young quarterback in Jayden Daniels, and then some of the great role players that he's got to wrap everything up here. Folks, we are not done yet. Even after these 2 blockbuster mock drafts that Murph and I have gone through, we also have one of our most valued everydayers who had a great submission here. And Murph, you're going to love what he did at the top of this draft. I probably tipped my hand but I don't care, and neither does he, because every time we mention the man's name, he gets giddy. He smiles. And we
Yeah.
love it here on Locked On Patriots. That's right. We're going to talk some Joe Alt and the rest of the haul from our good friend Lucas when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Locked On listeners, how is your social battery right now? Would you say it's bursting with energy, or are you feeling drained? It can be easy to ignore our social battery and spread ourselves thin, especially with social gatherings picking up after the winter. What's the right amount of socializing for you? And how do you recharge? Maybe you thrive around people, or maybe you need some more time alone. Therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today. We're breaking down mock drafts, and we're having a blast doing so, folks. And of course, if we're talking mock drafts, you know we cannot do so in good conscience without welcoming in our good friend, the man who mock drafts were created for here on Locked On Patriots, the legend himself, Thomas Murphy. Murph, we've had two great drafts submitted so far, but we've saved one for last here from a longtime everydayer, one of our most valued everydayers here on Locked On Patriots. This man defines the word everydayer. And folks, you can find him. His handle on Twitter is Wheels, WHEELZ, but
Love
you
it.
can find him on Twitter at 19 Lucas, LUKASIK79. So Lucas is going to make
Put it up.
Murph
Yeah, just
smile
put it up.
here.
Yeah.
We're going to put this one right up there so
Wheels.
you can see it. And Wheels has done it here at
Wheels.
number 3. He's going all the way at number
Yep.
3 here, and he's taking Joe Alt,
That's
offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. Murph, I know you
No
have no
fear.
problem with this. You
No
said
fear.
this right off the bat. You don't need to trade down. If the guy's there and you're willing to get him, go get him.
Right.
He's done
Now,
that here.
Yeah, he really has. And now the point is, folks, that I understand you can get Joe Alt later. I've said, 150 times, yes, trade down to 4, trade down to 5, trade down to 6. You can still get him there. Get everything that you can in the top 100. And he just went and grabbed Joe Alt at 3. That was fantastic. I'm not going to be disappointed. You've got your left tackle for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Alt is going to Canton.
Mm-hmm. Bottom line, Joe Alt is the rock on which you build the Church of Foxborough, as my good friend Murph would say. But he also has the Patriots dipping into the wide receiver market at number 37, because the Patriots did acquire the number 37 pick during a trade, and he has the Patriots getting Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan. A lot of athleticism here, Murph, a lot of speed. Your thoughts on Roman Wilson coming in here at number 37? I love the player. I think he's going to be a dynamic talent in the NFL. Is he a number 1, and is he the guy the Patriots need?
I don't know if Roman Wilson is going to be a number 1. He's a fantastic. This is maybe a few 8 or 10 picks too soon, but he's explosive. He has long speed. He has I hate to toss the word out there, but elite athletic skills. But he's again, he's one of those guys that is limited physically in his frame, and he may be a slot receiver, and there are other slot receivers that I would rather have here. He's not an X. He may be a Z. And so that's the only thing that gives me pause here. He's going to struggle against stronger physical cornerbacks.
Moving right along, another Wolverine here, number 68, the Patriots going with guard Zach Zinter. Yep. Murph, we mentioned Zach a little bit here last week. Your thoughts on this pick, maybe a little bit more in line with where he's going to be. Last week's
Ex-
draft saw him drafted, I think, far too low. I think this
Yeah,
is right about the sweet spot where he could go.
this is where that he's probably going to fall between 65 and 75. I think it's a fantastic pick. Like I said, you need depth on that offensive line. We've all seen it in the past. You know, one guy goes down, you need that next guy to step up. Zach Zinter will be that next guy to step up.
Mm.
If not in his rookie year, definitely by his sophomore season. This is good looking ahead by Wheels here at grabbing Zinter here at 68.
Absolutely. And at number 95, the Patriots getting a potential pass catching weapon for a new quarterback, who, no matter who it may be, Brendan Rice. Obviously, there is dad
Yep.
pedigree there. His father, Jerry, one of the greatest of all time. Brendan, I think, would look great here in a Patriots uniform. Once again, contested catches. This kid can make them all tough, physical, not the pure separator his father was, but someone I think that could come in and make a difference and move the needle. I like this at number 95 for the time.
Yeah, at 95, I like it. It might even be a little soon for him. You know, I think that he's
Good
going to
point.
fall outside the top 100. You know, he could go inside it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying don't expect too much freshman year in the NFL.
At number 103, the Patriots investing in a center. A lot of Wolverines here in
Yep.
this draft. Not a big surprise there. He's a big Wolverines guy. Drake Nugent coming in, the Michigan center, obviously. And then, of course, moving on, another Michigan Wolverine at number
Yep.
137, wide receiver Cornelius Johnson. And Johnson is kind of rising up some draft boards right now, Murph. Is this right now a pick that the Patriots would consider at number 37 here in your estimation?
I'm not quite sure of that. I mean,
Mm,
there's not enough film on him really to for me to make a valued judgment on him simply because Michigan didn't throw the ball enough.
exactly.
He did catch one of the 8 passes that JJ McCarthy threw against Penn State last year. I remember that.
And that is one of the knocks on JJ McCarthy right now, and why people are saying you really need to take that under account.
Right.
There's not a big sample size. It's one thing to say, yeah, he can get the job done, but until he starts making passes at the same clip as guys like Drake May and Jayden Daniels, you don't really know what you've got there. And the same can be said for the wide receiver core in Michigan, which was severely underutilized.
Yep.
And it's simply because it just wasn't part of the game plan
Right.
for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines last year. Still worked out pretty well when you get a national title. It's hard to argue the difference. Frank Gore Jr., we've been very vocal about the fact that
Right.
we'd love to see dad get a
Love it.
one-day contract.
That's it.
And also,
1
Frank
week.
coming in here at number 180. Again, this is a kid that can definitely add a lot of depth and I think a little bit of pop to your running back core.
Yep.
At number 193, Murph,
Yeah.
this is an interesting pick to me because I've heard people rave about the athleticism of Joe Milton,
Right.
quarterback out of the Tennessee Volunteers. When I saw this, the first thing I did was reach out to a good friend of mine who's a big Volunteers fan. And naturally, they're going to sing the praises of Joe Milton. They're going to talk
Right.
about the type of quarterback that he is. They don't believe Milton's getting enough credit for that athleticism, and they actually think it's hurting him in some draft boards. This guy could be someone with a day 2 potential in terms of talent. Now, I think that's a little over aggressive. But if you go back, take a look at Tennessee's 45-14 victory over UTSA last season. 81-yard rushing touchdown. That was their
Yep.
first offensive drive. This is a guy that saw the end zone, took the opportunity. That was the longest rushing play by a quarterback in Volunteers program
Right.
history. So this kid can do it. And then you want to talk about down the stretch, and the team was struggling a little bit. Passed for 383 yards, 4 touchdowns to go along with 2 rushing touchdowns in the victory over Vanderbilt to end the regular season. That performance marked the most touchdowns accounted for by a Volunteer in a single game since 2009. So
Yep.
this kid can find the end zone when he needs to. Did Lucas just pull off a steal here, grabbing this kid at number 193, or is this just the wrong fit for Alex Van Pelt's offense?
It's both. Both. Um, if I was playing a game in London and I had a wide receiver open in Foxborough, there was nobody else in this draft that I would rather have throw the ball than Joe Milton. Um, but the touch just isn't there. I don't think that he fits in this offense whatsoever. I think he's going to come into the league be a project for somebody, and could possibly refine those issues that he has. He doesn't have any touch on the ball whatsoever.
Mm,
Everything is a 98 mile an hour is 104 mile an hour fastball with him.
mm.
I like the kid. I think in this day and age that he could find a job here, but I think he would be better suited behind a quarterback that plays in the same kind of style and could step in for a week or two. I don't think Joe Milton is going to be a starter in this league, guys. I'm sorry.
Murph, we are at grading time here on Locked On Patriots. Our good friend Lucas was good enough to submit this
Yep.
draft. When you look at it top to bottom, I know you love the first pick, but from top to bottom, how would you rate this draft coming in from Lucas?
This is a B draft.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the only thing. I'm not grading on a curve here or anything. I love the top pick. That is not why we chose this. This isn't why Mike chose this draft. It's a very good draft. It is a very solid draft. It's a hard B.
I agree with you on this. I have this graded as a hard B as well. And as the great Don would say, I'm going to give you my reasons. And the reason being is that I do believe that Wilson at number 37
Yep.
is someone that would, I think, replicate a little bit of what you have here in New England. I would probably go after more of a perimeter receiver. I still think you're going to find good talent at a
Right.
perimeter receiver at number 37 if that's the direction that you're going in. When you look at where Jeremy picked up Malachi Corley and he picked him up at number 90, that's a big difference
Right.
from picking up a depth piece at 90 as to picking up someone that could be a cornerstone of your franchise for a
Right.
number of years at the position at number 37. So that's why I am a little bit skeptical of that. I love the pick of Zach Zinter at number 68.
Yep.
Patriots need help there. Brendan Rice, again, I think was a good pick. I love the Wolverines
Again,
that
where
you're
it was picked.
exactly.
You have to look at where these
Mhm.
guys were chosen when we're looking at our grading.
Mhm. Obviously, I mean, not addressing the quarterback position until number 193 and doing it with Milton, who, again, athleticism off the charts. I love the player. I'd love to see him have a long, prosperous career here in New England. I just think it's the wrong fit for an Alex Van Pelt offense. So, because of that, I did take a little bit off, but this is a solid B draft. And I think
Yep.
the role players that you've got here to go along with Alt at the top of the heap is a very good job. So, a tip of the cap,
There
Lucas,
you
and
go.
thank you so much for all of your support of Locked On Patriots, for being a valued
Oh
everyday.
yeah,
We love you, and we want
you're
you
the
to keep
best, real.
those mock drafts coming in. Murph, what can I say? You've always been along for the ride for me. This is the 5th year now that we've been doing mock
Yep.
drafts, having the mock drafts sent in before we were on camera. Murph and I were reading them off on
Right.
audio. It has been a great journey here, and I thank my good friend Mark Schofield for setting the table
Thank you,
here on
Murph.
Locked On Patriots, for doing that, because you helped us become one of the originators of interactive mock draft
Yep.
Monday. We were one of the first to do it, and we're proud to be one of the first to do it. And we like to think that we've got maybe a little bit of flair that you can't find elsewhere. And we've got Murph, and that's the most important thing, because what can I say, my good friend? You're always there for the ride. You're always there for the handoff when I need you, and I thank you for that. Before I let you go, buddy, please let everyone know where they can interact with you and what you got cooking in Murph's kitchen from now until Monday, from the great pen, the great voice of Thomas Murphy over at diehardbostonsportsfans.com.
Well, I've got a little Red Sox action coming up. Whether or not this pitching staff can keep doing what they're doing, please go check that out. And I'm going to be on the Pesky Party Hour this weekend with Leslie.
Nice.
You guys know her as Cape Cod Girlie. I'll be doing that on Saturday night. Please check that out.
Absolutely, folks. I wholeheartedly encourage you to check out that podcast. Leslie and the crew, and of course, having Murph along, they do such an amazing job. If you're a Sox fan, it should be a must listen. Call that appointment listening, appointment viewing. So definitely be sure to check
Yep.
that out. You will not be disappointed. And once again, folks, I remind you to check us out on Monday, because we're going to be breaking down more of your mock drafts and any of the tidbits coming out of Foxborough regarding Drake May's top 30 visit on Friday and Jayden Daniels' top 30 visit on Monday. And if there's any big time news in between, Murph and I are going to be bringing you that here on Locked On Patriots as well. But in the meantime, I remind you all to stay safe and to stay well and to be the change you wish to see in the world. And on behalf of my good friend Thomas Murphy, I'm Mike Debate, telling you to have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here again on Monday on Locked On Patriots.
There you go.